What's up? Welcome to Food and Philosophy episode 46, War of Art by Stephen Pressfield and Ike's sandwiches from Ike's. This one I don't know if you saw, went viral several times. Billie Eilish gets the Reading Rainbow. This is number 265, the Reading Rainbow. She was on the Late Show. She put it in her music video. This is Ike's red pesto, avocado, cheddar cheese. I got it on French bread because that's the bread that she gets. So it's a vegetarian sandwich, number 265. All right. I got it extra dirty, lettuce, tomato, onions, and peppers. And give it to the folks here too, and they're like, "Man, this is pretty good. What's the meat in here?" I'm like, "There's no meat in there." What's up, blind guy? So I'm such a sweet guy. I give away the other half sandwich. So I should kill this before we even start. I should start doing mukbangs. Little Ike bangs. All right, one more bite. So good. Ironically, I normally don't get avocado on my sandwiches. But I love this one. I mean, it's Ike's. What did I expect? I almost called it the Billie Eilish. The Reading Rainbow. Go watch her interview. He asked her about her favorite sandwich, and for some reason he can't understand her sandwich, and for some reason she can't articulate herself in a way that's understandable to him, because I understood what she was saying. So she just said, "You know what? Just go to Ike's." That was basically the gist of the video. All right, Ike's talk. I had this from my Twitter feed, my X feed, but on my way over here, someone played a David Meltzer video. I'm just talking about how before he was successful and after he was successful. And this is I don't know if I can I use, I'm not going to use a photo just in case it's like trademarked or something and I can't have it in this video. So it's a photo of Michael Jordan going like this after he won a 6th championship, and it says, "You're one win away from everyone acting like they believed in you from the start. You're one win away from everyone acting like they believed in you from the start." This happens to everyone, and it showed up for me in a way that not only baffled me but kind of upset me. I remember, I'll say how the baffling part. I remember when I went to my high school reunion, 20 years. Yes, I'm older than most of the people watching this. And this was a couple of years ago too, so it'd be like more like 25 years now. And not quite. And there's a gal that I back then was really interested in. Obviously, we're like 16, 17, 18, so not really a huge deal, but also definitely a huge deal though to me at that age. And she comes up to me at the event but a lot of people. And she was like, "Oh my god, yeah, you used to make sandwiches all the time, and we used to eat together, and you'd give me half of your sandwich, and we'd have lunch every day." And I'm thinking, whoa, 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 whoa. And then she said, "Yeah, I knew you were going to be amazing in restaurants because your sandwiches were always delicious." And to me, one, not only was, in my opinion, that not true at all with her, that wasn't true at, like, I don't have an experience of showing up in school, making sandwiches and giving people half of my sandwich and then believing in me. But dang sure. I was like, I don't even know. I can't even name one person that I did that with, let alone somebody that I did it with every single day. And so I was like, whoa. And it did start to, and because that was the first time it happened to me where somebody was like, "Oh, I always knew it." And I thought, well, did I remember wrong? Like, did this actually happen? Maybe it did. Maybe I repressed it in these things. Then over the last several years and a little bit before that, and for sure after that, I noticed that a lot of people that I grew up with say the same thing. And I'm not saying that they didn't, and it's not believable. And when people come up, like, I'm not saying don't come up to me and say, "Oh, I knew you were gonna do it." The video that David Melzer put up said that those people were talking smack first, then they were like, "Oh my god, I knew you were gonna do it," and then they moved on to the next step, which was to blame them, their success, for the other person's failures. And I certainly see that playing out in my life, where first it was they didn't believe in me, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I always believed in you." And before they believed in me, they were also talking smack. And then they said, "Oh, I always believed in you." And then now it's, "Why the hell are you successful? You're ruining my life." S- Paraphrasing. And that's the part that was upsetting. First, I was baffled. Now I'm upset. Like, you didn't like me, then you liked me, and now you hate me. It's like, oh my gosh, the roller coaster of things. So just remember, you're always just one win away from everybody saying they believed in you all along. Keep moving towards what it is that you want. And everybody that's a hater, literally everybody that's a hater, is going to come back, that actually knows you, not some random old person on the internet. They're going to come back and say, "I knew it all along." And so now when somebody hates on me that I actually know, or says what I'm doing is incorrect, or they try to give me some advice, I say to myself, "Oh my gosh, they're going to be the very first ones that are going to tell me, 'I told you you were going to be amazing.'" So just think, instead of hate, 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 they're saying, "You're amazing, Ike. You're amazing. I believe in you." Just reframe it for yourself. Just do it. They'll love you. Just, in fact, they probably wouldn't be hating on you if they didn't love you. And a couple of live streams ago, I had somebody really, really, really hating on me. They hated on me so much they deleted their Instagram afterwards. Or I don't know, maybe they got banned because they're saying some pretty terrible things. But they deleted it afterwards, and which I think is hilarious. But even that person, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this out there, which you're probably not, I don't know how you found my live in the first place. Just know that I know that you believe in me the most out of anyone else. And that's my X Talk. I do remember that I used to make you guys sandwiches way back in the day. No, they didn't block me. You know me. I have like 7 Ike's accounts. I have burners, except for my burners have my name on them. So I'm pretty sure they didn't block me. They got removed from the site. That's my X Talk. So what's that one win that you need? Like, you're just right there at the end. You're right there. You're so close to your billions. in money and emotional love. All right, my guy Stephen Pressfield, dude. I just want to shout out Stephen Pressfield. He has a writing workshop today. Should have messaged him. And I'm gonna text him right now that I love him. Thinking about him and I'm reading his book and good luck. Hold on one second, guys. Shout out to him. This book changed my whole life before I even met him. I love you. Best of luck. Wish I was there. Hashtag. All right. This book changed my life. And that's why I'm reading it now. If you're stuck anywhere in your life, it should take 3 days for you to read this for your whole life to get changed. In fact, because of this book, I started doing talks and I started my own class 12 years ago because I read this book. When I was like, oh, I don't know if I say stuff, people are going to think I'm stupid, or I don't know anything. I don't know any better. And I still don't know any better than any of you. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be sharing your point of life with others. All right. Where do we leave off? Resistance and self-medication. Do you regularly ingest any substance, controlled or otherwise, whose aim is the alleviation of depression, anxiety, etc.? I offer the following experience. I once worked as a writer for a big New York ad agency. Our boss used to tell us, invent a disease, come up with the disease, he said, and we can sell the cure. Attention deficit disorder, seasonal affect disorder, social anxiety disorder. These aren't diseases, these are marketing ploys. Doctors didn't discover them, copywriters did. Marketing departments did. Drug companies did. Depression and anxiety may be real, but they can also be resistance. When we drug ourselves to blot out our soul's call, we are being good Americans and exemplary consumers. We're doing exactly what TV commercials and pop materialist culture have been brainwashing us to do from birth. Instead of applying self knowledge, self discipline, delayed gratification, and hard work, we simply consume a product. Many pedestrians have been maimed or killed at the intersection of resistance and commerce. Look at which consumables you are using instead of what you would like out of life. Caffeine's one of my. I'm freaking. I don't want to say I'm addicted to energy. Okay, fine. I'm addicted to energy drinks. I love energy drinks. Is it a cope? Is it resistance? Food. I freaking love food. I love dessert. Used to be, I used to date a lot. Now, thankfully, or maybe not thankfully, maybe it's resistance. I don't date almost at all. So, what are the things that you're consuming, that you're using, instead of facing what it is that you would like out of life? Sandwiches definitely cured my depression. My go-to thing was a burger, which hopefully I would make, fries, which I would go out and get because I'm not really a good fry maker, and a shake. So I'd get a shake and fries from where would I go? A fast food restaurant, obviously. And I don't know, sometimes it was a Frosty, sometimes it was fries from McDonald's, sometimes it was wherever. And then having a burger. Hopefully I would make the burger, but often I'd go and just buy it. So for me, that was what I would use as a consumable instead of facing what it is that I would like. Donuts for sure are one. And people are talking, I did the donut pop up yesterday. You guys got to follow me if you want the donuts. Follow me if you want to eat donuts. So, what are the consumables that you're using right now? What are you buying, spending, consuming instead of facing what it is that you would like? To gave you a bunch for myself. It used to be dating, but definitely it's now food and drinks, or mostly energy drinks. What else are there? What drugs are you taking? Over the counter or otherwise, prescription or otherwise. They're not wrong. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Which consumables are you ingesting instead of investing in your life? What money are you spending on these things? Food, alcohol, women, drugs, energy drinks for me, instead of investing in your life. Which things do you find yourself trying to blot out and cover up the most? Lots of love to you too, Caleb. Thank you. Appreciate it. What are you trying to blot out the most? What thoughts about yourself? What feelings that you're having? What social constructs do you currently play a victim to? This is a big one right now in the election cycle, but just in general in politics. It's, oh, here's this, and this is the new ideology of, it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It's a social construct, and you could just as easily be a part of that group as you could be like, no, I'm actually not a part of that group, strictly by choosing it. Even if you are like literally a part of that group, whatever that group is, it's not relevant. You could choose to not be it. You can choose to not be a part of the social construct. It's all a freaking cope. It's all resistance, and it's all just trying to be consuming something. So what are these social constructs that you currently play a victim to right now or in the past? Which have been the things? What things specifically are you attempting to shield yourself from, either from experiencing or from responsibility to take care of yourself? I used to love Mrs. Fields' frosted oatmeal cookies, and when they had the little baseball cards in them. Resistance and victimhood. Speaking of self-medication and victimhood, resistance in that. Doctors estimate that 70 to 80% of their business is non-health related. People aren't sick. They're self-dramatizing. Sometimes the hardest part of a medical job is keeping a straight face. As Jerry Seinfeld observed of his 20 years of dating, that's a lot of acting fascinated. The acquisition of a condition lends significance to one's existence. An illness across the bear, some people go from condition to condition. They cure one, and another pops up to take its place. Who do you know that's like that? Is it you? The condition becomes a work of art in itself. The shadow version of the real creative act, the victim is avoiding by expending so much care cultivating its condition. A victim act is a form of passive aggression. It seeks to achieve gratification not by honest work or a contribution. Well, it seeks to achieve gratification not by honest work or a contribution made out to one's experience or insight or love, but by the manipulation of others through silent and not so silent threat. The victim compels others to come to his rescue or to behave as he wishes by holding them hostage to the prospect of his own further illness, their own further meltdown, or their own further mental dissolution, or simply by threatening to make their lives so miserable that they do what he wants. Casting yourself as a victim is the antithesis of doing your work. It's the antithesis of being inspired. It's the antithesis of being an artist. So don't do it. And if you're doing it, stop. Resistance and victimhood. Which negative things does your mind immediately go to when it is faced with adversity? What are those things? Which parts about yourself that you probably don't like are you doubling down on your negative thoughts when this happens? So something happens, and when you're faced with adversity and your mind goes somewhere. Every time you do that, presuming you don't like the experience, you're doubling down on your negative experience. You're doubling down on this negative thoughts. You're giving your negative thoughts here about this thing and the negative emotions that it elicits. Or I should put, instead of negative thoughts and negative emotions and thoughts that you don't like having. it doubles down on that. You give it more power. You don't make life better, even if you're attempting to make life better for yourself or for anyone else, for damn sure nobody else, certainly not for yourself by doing this. In fact, you help make their life worse by being that way. Uh-oh. Did I just say that you make their life worse by believing and thinking and feeling this way? Even if you're right, you still make their life worse because you're doubling down on these feelings and these thoughts and these beliefs and these experiences that you don't like and presumably that they don't like too. So which things do you feel the most victim-y towards? Which things do you feel other people are victim-y about? But on you're like on their side, like you believe them that they're victims. In these areas, list out the ways that you've been giving away your power to it, to this self-construct, to this thing that's socially engineered. Whether it's true or not does not make it not socially constructed, socially engineered, because it's your thoughts, your feelings, your experience, your beliefs, and theirs too, even if they agree with you. Where are you giving your power away to the world? Where are you like, oh, it's the world, this is what's going on, or to people, it's the politician's fault, or the right wing's fault, or the left wing's fault, or the middle wing's fault? You're giving away your power to the world. You're giving away your power to people. You're giving away, like, whether, even if it's just internally with your family or with your work. Where are you giving power over to the circumstances that you're in? You double down on those feelings when you're a victim, or you believe that other people are victims. I mean, you could just end it here and that's it, and just take that for the rest of your life and improve your life if you got nothing else from it but that. Resistance in the choice of a mate. Resistance in the choice of a mate. Sometimes, if we're not conscious of our own resistance, we'll pick as a mate someone who has or is successfully overcoming resistance. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's easier to endow our partner with the power that we in fact possess, but are afraid to act upon. Maybe it's less threatening to believe that our beloved spouse is worthy to live out his or her unlived life, while we are not. Or maybe we're hoping to use our mate as a model. Maybe we believe, or wish we could, that some of our spouse's power will rub off on us if we just hang around it long enough. This is how resistance disfigures love. The stew it creates is rich, it's colorful. Tennessee Williams could work it up into a trilogy. But is it love? If we're the supporting partner, shouldn't we face our own failure to pursue our unlived life rather than hitchhike on our spouse's coattails? And if we're the supported partner, shouldn't we step out from the glow of our loved one's adoration and instead encourage him to let out his own light to shine? Someone asks, is the middle wing the same as a fin? Only if you're a shark. Behind every relationship is a set of complementary opposites. Also, almost almost everything we repress gets expressed in our partners, and then furthermore expressed in, if you have children, in your children. Because, you know why? I'll tell you why it happens. Because one, if it's expressed in your partner, you look at your partner and you hopefully love them anyway, even though there are these things that you're repressing about yourself. And it shows you that you can love someone else even though they have these things wrong with them. And thus it unconsciously helps show you that you can love yourself in spite you have these things wrong with you. Same, especially so in your children, because while we break up all the time with partners and spouses and all those things, like 90, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know the statistics better than me, but 99% of the people I've ever dated, I'm not with right now. Yes, I have dated over 100 people. No, probably not, but the number's still probably 99% or close to it. But with the children, especially if you're dating somebody, I'll know this, we'll go to children later. But if you have children, you're gonna probably love them no matter what. I wouldn't know. I don't have any, but I hear that you love them no matter what. So even if they are little whatever the things you're repressing about yourself, you're still going to love them. And it's a way to unconsciously show yourself to love yourself. So stop repressing, stop complimentary oppositing it, just see it in yourself. Resist the urge to blame and shame your partner for this. Literally, it's showing up because you're repressing it. And resist putting them on a pedestal like, oh my God, look at them. They're perfect. They do these things. You know, like probably everybody that's ever dated me is like, I go my, I'm just kidding. No, hopefully not kidding, but you know what I mean. And definitely don't put them on a pedestal, but also don't put them on a pit. You're not better. They're not better than you. You're not better than them. Don't put them down just because they are exhibiting these traits that you're repressing in yourself. Let's do one more section. Resistance and oppression. Oh no, resistance in this book. When I began this book, resistance almost beat me. This is the form it took. It told me, the voice in my head, that I was a writer of fiction, not nonfiction, and that I shouldn't be exposing these concepts of resistance literally and overtly. Rather, I should incorporate them metaphorically into a novel. That's a pretty damn subtle and convincing argument. The rationalization resistance presented me with was that I should write, say, a war piece in which the principles of resistance were expressed as the fear a warrior feels. Resistance told me I shouldn't seek to instruct or put myself forward as a purveyor of wisdom, that this was vain, egotistical, possibly even corrupt, and that it would work harm to me in the end. That scared me. It made a lot of sense. What finally convinced me to go ahead was simply that I was so unhappy not going ahead, I was developing symptoms. As soon as I sat down and began, I was okay. This particular passage is the reason why I started talking, because I was like, oh, well, I'm just a sandwich maker. In fact, I don't know. In the last couple of days, so many people have been like, shut up and make sandwiches. Whether it was on X or Instagram or on my lives. And that was the part. I was like, well, I'm a sandwich maker. Why should I go out and teach or speak? This section showed me that it didn't really matter. Either I'm going to talk smack about myself on the inside, or I could be worried about some pieces of crap that are going to speak bad about me on the outside. And there's been some bad stuff spoken about me in the last couple weeks or whatever that I've seen, probably more than I haven't seen. And you know what? I'm doing what I love to do. That in alone is the key to defeating resistance. So resistance and oppression will continue until it hurts you more to not do the thing than it feels to do it. Like with him. And it could show up as physical symptoms, like the woman that had the cancer and then had the relapse once, or what's it called when it goes away? It went away when she started doing what she loved to do. Or because you're so upset with yourself that it bothers you. Keep making the voice on the inside louder than the outside. Keep making it louder than resistance. Whether the resistance is coming from within you, like your own self-doubt, or it's coming from without you, from outside of you, or people like, you can't do that. You're a sandwich maker. Shut the hell up. Whatever those things are, make your voice on the inside louder than the resistance. What is it that's in your wildest dreams to do? What are those things? If you had a magic wand and I gave you 25 wishes, what would you wish for? What would you want to be? Look at those things. Like, actually make that list right now because we're about to end. Make this list as soon as we're done. 25 things. If you had 25 wishes, like Genie's like 100% you can have these. What would your life be? What would your dreams be? What would your life be like? In your life, be selfish here. Don't be like, oh, I want world peace. Fine. What would you like for yourself? Your well-being is your greatest contribution to humanity. No exceptions ever. What are your biggest excuses to not do and be those things right now? You're choosing to not be it right now. Everybody that you put on a pedestal, like write out your 5 top people that have ever lived on the planet, and all those people started in exactly the same spot you were where they weren't an expert, or they weren't good, or they weren't great leaders, or they weren't strong, or they were whatever it is that you look up for them for. So what's your excuse to not start and do and be that right now? What stops you? What are the fears? What are the things that are coming up? Fiva, we could probably do that one day. What would need to happen first in order for you to move forward? Like, what do you need to have happen to move forward? Do this now. We're ending. Write this stuff down for yourself. Do the work, which is another Stephen Pressfield book. Remember, when life gives you what you want, great. And when it doesn't give you what you want, even better. Your well being is your greatest gift to humanity. No exceptions ever. I love you.